Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Clash. My name is John Santo. Marcus is out this week. He will be back next week. Fingers crossed. Everything is good. With me, though, as almost always, but a lot of the time, is Elise Willems and Jeremy Hoffman.
Hello, hello.
Fresh back from his debauched trip to Europe.
Yeah.
But everything is good. Everybody's happy and fine and safe.
Other than this little cough I got.
Yeah, that he's now spreading to us amongst this frigid, ice-cold room. We appreciate that. All right, let's hop right into it. S.H.I.E.L.D., Disney presents Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it really
That's
Disney
why.
Presents?
It's something like
I don't think it's Disney
ABC presents Disney's Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Marvel. I don't know.
There's a lot of things in there. Anyways,
based on characters by
Characters
Stan Lee and Jack
exactly.
Kirby.
Yeah. So S.H.I.E.L.D.'s second episode has happened.
I think we need to talk about it because there was a big cameo.
There is a massive cameo in it.
We didn't think it was going to happen.
Should we?
Spoilers.
Yeah, a little bit
There's
of spoiler.
gonna be spoilers.
This is going up later in the week, anyways. Anybody
Yeah.
who wants to have seen it. If you haven't seen it, come back in 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson shows up.
Yep, at the very end. So it felt just kind of like one of the movies where that was that last 30 seconds he does his appearance. I know we were talking about it months ago, like how often would the movie characters show up?
Yep.
Is it ever going to happen? These guys are huge actors.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe during sweeps,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. See, and that's what I thought. I thought they were going to really hold off the sweeps to
series,
start bringing these folks in.
Season finale.
Right.
You have them in, and it's like it's nice to see.
Or they would promote it for like weeks in advance.
Yeah, it was a
you
huge
know?
shock. It was
Right.
great. Like I didn't, I saw like one tweet on Twitter that was like, "Ooh, that was a huge cameo," and I was like, "Wow, okay, I wonder who it's going to be." Didn't think it was going to be Sam Jackson. He kept it quiet.
Yep.
Which is shocking, especially if anyone was following him this week on Twitter. He spoiled Breaking Bad for everyone.
Did he really?
And then got irrationally angry at people that were irrationally angry at him. I think
Classic Sammy J.
I think my favorite tweet out of that was, and I'm not quoting this, but I'll summarize. It was, "Fuck you, I'm in the fucking Alps, and I found a way to download it. If you were a real fan, you would know how it ended." And I was like, sounds like Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In the Alps.
In the Alps. Committing crimes in the Alps. Sammy J.
So yeah, I think
So I haven't seen the first episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet.
taking your nerd card away.
No, I need you to sign my time cards, Jerry.
I'm gonna assign you to watch the shows this week before I sign your time cards.
I had really no interest in it, but I guess there's a big difference between the first episode and the second episode.
What do you mean you have no interest in it? You didn't watch the movies?
No, I like the movies, but
you
when
hate Joss Whedon?
What
is wrong with you?
When it usually comes to like week to week Monster of the Week stuff, I'm not.
That's fair.
I'm not so invested.
Which this very much is so far. I mean, the pilot gave us a potential new enemy. Being Centipede, but so far it's just this one resorted to a very kind of
But yeah, so like, what was so different between?
This one felt. I hate to say this. I mean, the first one had a couple lackluster moments. This one felt really cheap. Like they go to the jungle to identify an object. They've gotten an 80 something
084
804 some exciting code thing. There's a lot of jargon back and forth this week. A lot of it's about communication.
And
the theme is about communication and teamwork.
And it's just I think it's just the fact that you would expect something more subtle. Like, and I know it's a comic book show. Like, I got in this argument with
it
Ryan
hits you as hard as
Stevens.
Thor's hammer over the head.
Yeah.
It is not subtle in any way, shape, or form.
I was arguing with Stevens about it, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't really like the first episode. It's too comic booky." And I'm like, "It's okay for something based on a comic book to feel comic booky.
Yeah, sometimes that's an achievement.
Like, it should feel comic book.
Sure.
This just felt very like cliche. TV.
It felt bad A-Team.
Yeah.
Because they run into some the military. There's a shootout and like really bad wide shots of guys like getting shot and falling back, and it looks like it really is kind of that weird A-Team kind of feel where nobody's getting hit with bullets but they're still dying kind of moments, and it's very cheap and cheesy feeling at times. I mean, you're almost kind of. I'm almost like enraptured with it by how not good looking those moments were.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because you have this expectation from the films now to look like the films, to be in that universe, and it's never going to happen.
And the dialogue wasn't half as self-aware, snappy.
No,
as
it felt
as
it felt
was.
Usually with TV pilots, it's like the first one's like the worst
Yeah.
because every network executive and everyone that has any bit of, control, marketing execs,
Yep.
everyone tweaks it and it becomes like the most vanilla
Yeah.
episode. And I thought the first episode was great. I really enjoyed it. The second one, it's like, ooh, that was shocking how kind of much of a dip there was.
Yeah, if say like a B plus B for this first episode, this like drops down to maybe a C minus in a weird way. Minus the last, I'll give it its last 5 minutes. Once everything is over and they've all, hey, we've learned the message of teamwork. Sorry.
Teamwork
HR
means not hitting your
Yeah,
people.
right. Anyway. But yeah, there's a nice bit where they're sitting on the edge of the plane at the end, kind of getting ready to watch a rocket launch and everything else like that, and you get a little text message, and tension is built about one of the characters and stuff like that. But that was kind of a nice little bit. You're like, all right, they're a fun team now. I don't know. It's such a white cast. Other than Ming Na, of course, it really is. It's a bizarre. I mean, it's such a. I mean, none of any kind of charisma or anything interesting that I found about people last week really kind of fell flat this week. Even Fitzsimmons, who I thought were kind of cute last week, this week to me were just like cloying.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. We'll have to see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Oh,
did you see like previews for next week's episode or anything?
No,
No?
I did not stay to watch that.
Okay.
There was a preview for Thor in there. If
Oh,
you're
really?
watching. Yeah, nice new. I think over the first commercial break, they had
Right.
another trailer, which is.
So, but enough about Shield being not sure where it's going to go yet. We will, like I said, I'm going to officially give it 6 episodes to see, because I understand things need to kind of find their footing, etc. So 6 episodes, I'll kind of give my final decision on that, and that's the truth. That's not opinion. After that, it'll be fact. But because of Shield's massive success, it has prompted. Quote, prompted rumblings of a Star Wars live-action series.
Yeah.
Which is that the same live action series that has been
Rebels,
rumored
Rebels, or
forever?
whatever it was called.
Well, no, there was
or
the
X-wing
one,
Force. What was the?
There was the one that Lucas had worked on, and it was going to be 100 episodes. and-
Okay.
I think it's disconnected from that, but now it's like Disney's like, oh, this is kind of working. Maybe
Right.
we do regurgitate this idea, and
Well, DC jumped on it last week. I know I missed that.
Yeah.
I was sending you guys angry emails
Yeah.
from Europe.
Yeah.
like
Oh,
2
he
a.m.
was
in
so
Europe.
upset.
I'm like, why is Jeremy awake? And he's
Yeah.
I was
ranting about
drunk and I was ranting. And I had no one else to rant at, so I was sending you guys emails.
That's
So
fair.
you are not for Gotham then?
Gotham to me, I don't know. It's like I want to see. I like the whole idea of like, ooh, it's set in the Batman universe without Batman. Just makes me fear Birds of Prey coming back. If anyone remembers that
Yes.
piece of shit.
It
Yeah.
was. I thought Birds of Prey was a fascinating oddity. Not a good show, but a fascinating oddity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange how bizarre.
That's what I would do. I would scratch my skull while I watched it.
And it's the same problem, It's like they were like, oh well, it's gonna be young detective Gordon
Gordon, right.
before Batman, and he's gonna fight, some of Batman's greatest villains. And I'm like, I didn't think Batman's greatest villains appeared until Batman
yeah.
appeared. I thought that was kind of the whole duality of Bruce and
Oh,
Batman, and then you
DC.
see, I don't know, whatever. But Star Wars.
Yeah, well, but just
What-
on the Batman thing for a sec, I don't know which one of you said it, but one of you did say that it could maybe return to like the origins of Batman as a detective crime.
But they've said Batman. It sounds like they haven't really said anything, right? But like the rumors were like Batman would be very probably non-existent.
Yeah.
It's pre-Batman, and you're like, okay, that's weird. I'm
Right.
assuming they'll do what like they did with Smallville and the last-
Pre-Batman, by the way, was my favorite comic. It was just a bunch of blank white pages.
Yeah.
Come on.
Moving on.
Anyway,
Star Wars.
So Star Wars, yeah. There's this rumor. There was the rumors for years that Lucas was working on something. He wanted to shoot 100 of them, or wanted, someone to give him financing for 100 of them, and then they would shoot them all at once, and it was going to be darker, and it was going to be about the bounty hunters, and then there were some good stories came out last week about Star Wars 13, which was a video game that we debuted last year on GTTV right before E3 that ended up getting canceled, and the rumors, or I guess it came out that game was actually going to be the other side of the TV series. You were
Right.
going to also be playing a bounty hunter. It was going to be Boba Fett. Those rumors were floating around since the very beginning of that game, and then also it was confirmed last week. Now that the game's gone. So I have no idea what's going to happen with the Star Wars live action series. It just feels like now there's too much Star Wars. Is
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
weird?
say, would
Like,
you guys even
Well,
want a live action series?
What's bizarre about it is there's too much Star Wars with no Star Wars.
right? It's
You know,
like, hey, we're doing a new
being,
trilogy.
We're being inundated with all of this information, but we're not getting any product yet. And that's
what the new trilogy.
Yeah.
They're saying 2
spin-off
spin-offs,
movies.
at least
the
maybe
plot
3.
being a movie a year for the next until.
Is there a return to animated?
No, I don't believe so. Unfortunately, they did wrap up Clone Wars, which
Yeah.
I thought had a couple very strong seasons and a couple very weak seasons. But I really did actually. Clone Wars was a nice palate cleanser for most of the prequels for me.
Well, and then Seth Green's claiming that Detours may come back, which is that terrible cartoon they were doing last year.
Oh, right.
God.
But they've just shelved that, and it's going to come back later. And it's like, no, just destroy it. Please destroy that, like they destroyed the original prints of the movies, as they claim.
No
So
robot
Disney,
chicken.
so Disney is pondering a show. They haven't pegged down what it is yet. They aren't announcing what it is yet. They just figure now that Shield is so massive, they're like, okay, we can do this with something else.
I mean, they should
Think
probably
about
also
it.
wait to see if Shield's massive.
Plays out over
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah. So all right. So also, but following our sci-fi thread here, Interstellar, the new film by Christopher Nolan that has Jessica Chastain, Matthew McConaughey, and a bunch of other folks. Probably is Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it? He's got to be in there somewhere, right? Yeah. Okay.
Michael Caine. My cocaine.
Oh, Michael Caine's got to be in it. Yeah.
You just have to say my cocaine.
Michael Caine. I'm not wearing my bleeding glasses. What do you mean I'm not in character? That was the worst Cockney accent on the planet.
Have you ever read Acting in Film by Michael Caine?
I have not. No. How was it?
It's like don't blink.
Really?
like it's like the most mundane advice.
Right.
Anyway, moving right along.
Well, that guy's got a career and we don't. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
we
guess
should
we're
take
right.
it. I'm not blinking.
don't blink for the rest
No
of
more
the
Rest of the
blinking on
show,
the
just
podcast.
tears running down my face. Anyway, some photos from some set photos from Interstellar have popped up online. All Earthbound, all Earth based. No exciting green screens or anything like that. You've
Nothing
got
stellar.
you've got horrible.
Oh.
You've got you've got Christopher Nolan directing Matthew McConaughey. You've got a couple incredibly cute shots of Jessica Chastain.
I want to
sitting on a
try to
bus or something
recreate
like
the
that.
noise that
I've-
Santo made when
I-
we saw that photo
Okay,
for the first time.
first off, Jessica Chastain. Let me say this: you are an incredibly attractive, and beautiful woman. But your acting, no.
He like licked
Your-
his lips.
Your acting skills are fucking insane. You got. Wait, who won for Best Actress? Because I felt like she got ripped off for Best Actress. Because I don't want to like take away any glory of who actually did win. But honestly, your performance in Zero Dark 30
Ramp.
is mind-blowingly good. Zero Dark 30 in its own is just a fantastic fucking film that is a must-see for anybody who's into movies. But yeah, you're the tops, and I don't mean that in any exciting other way other than just you are really fantastic and keep up all the great work.
At
Anyway.
John Santo.
At John Santo. Tweet me now
We're
at John
watching
Santo.
Jessica.
But yeah, no, she's I just think she's great. I would watch her read the phone book. I hate saying that phrase. It's so cliche. But anyway, so Interstellar set photos are out online.
Hey, John.
Yes.
What's a phone book?
I'm so old.
Is that like an app for your Google Glass?
Yeah.
is there-
It's I hate to say
I have
this.
one of those things that says
Yeah.
phone
It's
book.
that thing that every so often appears in a bag on your doorstep and you throw it out
the thing I
instantly.
throw away.
Yeah, that's the
the
one.
The
paperweight.
things
Yeah.
we shot bullets through.
Yeah. On combat facts. Yeah.
Yes. See, they have purpose. So some Interstellar set photos are out right now. So check them out. Just Google, Yahoo, engine search,
Bing.
Bing them,
I just use Bing all the time.
and
GeoCities.
check them out because
GeoCities site.
And actually, what was the most fascinating thing about them that Jeremy pointed out was that none of this is in space.
Yeah.
This is all very earthbound, real
Which
life.
is a nice way to
Big dust storm looking
show
thing
it
in
in
one
the
of
very
them.
beginning, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So
tease it without showing any of the cool space stuff.
I know, can't wait. Fingers crossed on that one. Don't disappoint me, Nolan. You're doing good so far. Simpsons news, which is now in its 25th season, 26th season,
25, I
25
think.
years on television. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have characters that don't age. The Simpsons executive producer Al Jean has announced that a major character is going to die this season. They did this announcement many moon ago for a character when Maude Flanders accidentally was killed at a racetrack.
But that I think that was a response to
Took a tire
the
to the
voice
face.
actress passing away. the voice actress that
Did she?
Yeah,
Was that was that
I think
was
that
the-
was what that reaction was. That the voice actress that voiced her passed away, so that was like they thought, well, that's their fitting tribute to her
is to have her get knocked off the
Yeah.
stands by a giant tire
But I
and
guess
killed.
they didn't want to continue the character with someone else.
That's fair. Well, it also led to some very interesting episodes, I think, with Ned Flanders,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
having to deal with loss
Single
and
life, too.
single life and finding new love.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
Yeah. Well, have you seen that guy in the shower?
I know.
Well hung.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. He is. It's all blurred out. So anyway, predictions. Who do you think they're going to kill?
Was it you?
Jeremy. They're going to kill Jeremy.
Yes, finally.
They're gonna find a way.
They're gonna introduce me as a character
Character
that
and
killed
knock you
me.
off.
Spoilers.
Marge's mom was being tossed around on a couple sites.
I say Grandpa. I think Grandpa has become a very stale joke in an odd way. If they say they're saying major character, that means it can't be. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not gonna be one of the actual.
watching
family
Ralph
members of
Wiggum
the
die would be pretty
Apu's kids.
would be pretty wacky. One of Apu's.
Does
Yeah,
Barney
many
finally
children.
die from his alcoholism?
Oh wow.
Wow.
That would be
Social
heavy. See, and that's what I'm
commentary.
really curious about is how heavy are they
Yeah.
going to take this one if they're actually going to kill a major
He has a
character.
pre-existing condition, can't get health care, and dies.
And dies. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, shut down government.
Aw.
To me, this is kind of sad because I don't think this is going to be that impactful for The Simpsons. But I
No.
remember, 1995, Who Shot Mr. Burns? I was waiting all summer
Yeah.
to learn
Yeah.
Who Shot Mr. Burns. And I don't think anyone's really going to.
No,
Yeah.
they're unfortunately, and now it's funny because I still watch The Simpsons. The Simpsons were in a rut for years. I felt they actually got better after the movie came out. It's they went from having maybe 2 good episodes a season to half the season being pretty solid. So far, off to a little bit of a shaky start, but it's I don't know. I mean, I've spent 25 years watching it. I know that's
Can't stop
pretty
now.
creepy. Yeah, no, I'm in the home stretch. I hope. But yeah, I'll be fascinated to find out who they kill, how the death will occur in wacky comedic fashion. I'm sure. It's like, of all the stuff that happens on the show, it's got to be tough to kill somebody. I mean, not like, oh, who do we kill? But like you've seen Homer like defy death in so
Yeah.
many different ways.
Fake
It's
it.
like
How
it's
are they
so
gonna
tough.
kill him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only person, Frank Grimy Grimes gets electrocuted basically, and that's the one way. But most of the time, Ralph Wiggum is swallowed God knows how many poisons and everything else that he's done to himself.
Crayons.
Yeah. So did they say when they're gonna kill somebody?
I thought it was like season 25 or 26 is what I was
maybe.
seeing.
Oh,
Which
so
is like
soon.
now they're just playing.
Yeah, now
like-
they're just Now they're just teasing us. Basically, he walked out of the writers' room one day after a pitch and said, "Okay, we're gonna kill a major character," and it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I didn't write this. Awesome 2.5-minute Wonder Woman fan film hit the web this week from Rainfall Films.
I liked it.
Elise,
Tell me about it.
I think it's Wonder Woman in a street fight with a bunch of
Thugs.
Military.
I don't know if it's clear if it's just like
I say well-armed thugs.
hoodlums,
Well-armed
well-armed
hoodlums.
thugs,
Or
military,
did they seem
deviants.
some sort of weird? I mean, they seem to have military like gear, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's unclear.
Guys with guns.
In a future where metal signs can burn, it's hard to tell who these men are.
I thought it was a cool trailer or fan film in that there was some serious production value.
Oh, there
put
was. Yeah,
into
sure.
it.
Sure. It had a very 300 kind of thing going on with
Yep.
it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no gratuitous close-up thigh shots or anything like that.
It did. You're right. It did lack
Her
that.
costume had some substantial money put into it,
Yep.
which I thought was cool, and it kind of just says hey, we a show like this is possible and could be made.
See,
Um,
okay, here's where I agree. And people have been saying that about the short film. I've never doubted that a Wonder Woman show or film could exist. We've had one in the past, but a Wonder Woman movie could easily be made. But it's about the character and about the relationships and things like that. That's the thing that nobody's ever been able to prove with any of these fan films yet, or show us how to explore the character. You can show anybody getting their ass kicked and kicking ass. I did like the God of War looking creatures though, that when you do the flashbacks to Amazonia or wherever she's from. I don't even know about that, but
a lot of it is just effects fodder.
Yes.
to
Yeah,
an
it looked. I mean, it
extent.
looked good, and we got close. What was it last year for the Wonder Woman TV show that
Yeah.
looked awful,
Yeah.
and there was didn't make any sense, and
well, in
there was two different. She was playing 2 different characters, plus Wonder Woman. It was weird.
Really?
That whole
They
thing.
need to have the juxtaposition of their alter ego and how do they exist in
Whedon
society.
got close. Whedon got close a couple times to
Whedon
getting
got close?
his Wonder Woman film made. But there, of course, I mean, there's yet to be a female superhero movie. The closest we've gotten so far is ScarJo in the in
Elektra. Don't forget
Okay.
Elektra.
Okay, we have Elektra.
Catwoman, Batwoman,
What?
Batgirl, Alicia Silverstone, and
Well, standalone.
Wow.
Oh, standalone.
Yeah,
film,
standalone
yes.
films. You have 2,
Oh, we have 2. Yeah.
right?
And they were terrible.
The
They were
Red
horrible.
Sonja that never happened with.
Oh yeah, Rose McGowan.
McGowan.
That was supposed to be the Robert Rodriguez
I was
movie.
looking forward to that.
Really, Red Sonja is not a great character.
I don't mind Rosa McGowan.
I don't mind Rose McGowan either, but Red Sonja is not a great character.
I was just looking forward to it.
Fair enough. So
I like kick-ass women.
there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
kick-ass women. Women should kick ass.
Yeah, I
women are
think,
allowed to kick ass.
You know, this is what we've been talking about a lot, and it keeps coming up. Like, why aren't there any female superhero standalone movies? And then I think the first question you have to ask is which character. And for DC, it's obvious that it should be
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could even, I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, but I think you could even pull like a Zatanna film, like do a magic one.
Okay.
You know, like you could try it, right? You could do something there.
Right.
If you do a really cool kind of heist magic movie, maybe, you know, what was it Never was that terrible magic one this summer?
Oh, now
Oh.
you see me.
Now You See Me. Like if you could do something like that, right? Where
Right,
she's
yeah.
got like, and then you could bridge it into the world. The problem is Marvel right now just doesn't really have too many strong female lead
Right.
characters.
Now there were rumors of Katie Sackhoff possibly playing Captain Marvel.
Right?
There's been
Was that Captain Marvel or Marvel Girl?
I thought
Power Girl?
I thought it was listed.
No, Power Girl.
Power
is
Girl's
DC,
powers.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was listed as Captain Marvel.
Maybe.
thought it's what
Yeah,
they
I don't know. I know that she was rumored.
And then both Natalie Portman and I think Scarlett Johansson within the past few weeks have discussed that they've said that there are whiffs of rumors through the Marvel universe through Marvel that there's going to be a solo
yeah.
female character coming up.
The question is just who. You know, they can't take any of the mutants.
Right.
'Cause they're all
And
with
that's
Fox.
the biggest problem right there is where all of the really strong female characters from Marvel
X-Men.
are
Are
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that comes down to Fox wanting to do that. You know, for Marvel, I don't know if people want to see a Black Widow film.
Right.
Do you guys?
No, I mean, because it's just like if you're gonna see a superhero film, you want to see a real
A real superhero.
superhero.
Right.
Do you pull in Ant-Man and Wasp?
Right.
You know, because
Yeah.
then you could do that as like a standalone. Like, I know there's an Ant-Man movie coming, so why?
Why not bring the Wasp in? And I mentioned this yesterday. I was listening to this. Joss Whedon did a interview with Jeff Goldsmith's The Q&A discussing the Avengers, and there was at one point in time they were not sure if they were going to get Scarlett Johansson back, and so there was a very waspy version, as he called it, of the script, and he said he could just write her forever. He just thought she was adorable and just loved writing the Wasp character. So there's potential for that, especially now with Ant-Man. And since he wrote Age of Ultron, maybe he'll squeeze her in there a little bit.
I think we all are open to seeing it. It's just finding the right character.
Yeah.
I think Quentin Tarantino does female characters excellent.
I was gonna say, and he's kind of given us with The Bride, with Beatrix
Kiddo is
she's a fantastic superhero in a
hero.
way. I mean, she really is a superhero.
Yeah, and even just for him, it's just like Ren Ishii.
Yeah.
Like they're all excellent, and then like. Even like Death Proof, he's got Zoe up on
Sure.
the hood of the car,
Yeah.
and
No, I mean,
these are just women that aren't
yeah.
like gratuitously examined in any way, but
Right.
they're still kick-ass and
Right.
developed characters. And I don't think he could make a superhero movie though.
I can't
don't
imagine
know.
Marvel hiring
No.
Tarantino to do a superhero movie.
I don't know if he would want to. He did want to do a James Bond film. He was really big on wanting to do a James Bond
That'd be
movie at one
awesome.
point. But I don't think his interests fall into wanting to do a. He likes to talk about them. I
Right.
think making them would be a different deal. So basically, okay, strong female characters though, just in action films in general. Now I'm thinking of, I can't remember the character's name in Miko in the Wolverine. Was that her name? Maiko, the pink-haired cutie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a nice little silent
Mariko,
kick.
right?
Mariko,
Yeah.
there you go. It's a silent little kick-ass,
Yeah.
femme
Yeah.
character there.
But my problem with that was I know they were basing it on the comics, but to me she was like the superior and super awesome cool girl, whereas like he only had eyes for this like
Right.
docile,
The demure,
Right.
yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
huh,
he needs a yin to his yang.
I guess
He needs somebody to keep him grounded and feel wanted. She's more of the daughter character. She's more of like the protege to Wolverine. So they, what I liked about the end of the Wolverine is they set up this, there could be their adventures taking place in between that and the next X-Men movie.
We won't see her.
No, we'll never see her again.
again.
We'll never see her again, though.
I don't know. I mean, it's like She-Hulk. If they can't do a standalone Hulk movie, where
Right.
they're going to pull in a She-Hulk? Like, as much as I'd like to see it, I just don't know who.
Yeah.
Now, it could be someone from Guardians, right? There's a couple female characters there.
very good
Did they
point.
get spin-offs? I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah.
That can make sense.
And we don't know what they're going to be doing in the Guardians of the Galaxy film. So we could very well get ourselves some. Admittedly, it's a group. It's an ensemble film again, but
Right.
we could have some very solid kick-ass females in that. It'll happen, Elise.
It's a little like after a summer where there were like no female leads and it was the Heat.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
it's a little like worrisome.
I like
I
the
guess.
I like the Heat. I did. I liked the Heat. It was fun. Although we got Gravity. I mean, exactly not a superhero, but you got Sandra Bullock on screen for 90 minutes.
Which we're gonna talk about next week, right?
We will talk
We
about
are.
Gravity next week, yeah, because we're all going to see Gravity. Go see Gravity next week. There will be a discussion of Gravity. Really quick, let me address Homeland. A person in the comments asked us to talk about Homeland. You guys don't watch it, correct?
I gave up.
Okay, you gave up, and Elise has never watched it. The first season of Homeland was, I thought, a fantastic piece of television. The second,
Except for that last episode.
except for some of the last episode. Okay, I'll give you that. Except the ending of the last episode. Spoiler alert. Screw you. The ending of the last episode sets up this fantastic premise of him being in Congress and working from the inside.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic premise, a great idea, which they basically completely abandon in the beginning of the second season. And the entire second season feels more like a season of 24 than it does like the really kind of interesting stuff they
I
started
had to
building in
give
the
up
first
with
season.
the ridiculous daughter. I don't remember where. I think it was second or third episode that season. She's in school and
Yep.
stands up and like. I'm not quoting this, but it's like, my dad's a secret Muslim.
Yeah.
And everyone like freaks
Freaks
out,
out, yeah.
and then you're like, and it's never mentioned
Yeah.
again in the show, and it's like in a world with 24-hour news cycles and
Yeah.
blogs, and
Yeah.
like he would never be able to not have eyes on him again.
Again, yeah.
Like, she's such a loose cannon, and that show was so well constructed the first season
Yep.
where I felt like they were, the spies or the terrorists were always a couple steps ahead. And,
Yep.
and the daughter is just
Yeah.
irredeemable.
The daughter. Yeah, the daughter is unfortunately a horrible character. I was not going to watch the third season at all until I read a piece from one of the showrunners or one of the EPs who discussed it. It's going to be much smaller this season, and it's going to feel more like a Jean le Carré novel. Which instantly I went bing because I love le Carré books and the film. A lot of the films based on them. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. The first episode so far to me is an incredible. I don't want to say it's a huge disappointment. It's just a lot of setup and a lot of things that I don't care about, like the daughter. Half of the episode probably pertains to the existence of the
Oh,
daughter.
wonderful.
Yeah, and the other half, and the stuff that I really like, of course, deals with Saul and Carrie and their relationship and how it, by the end of the episode of this first season, really goes screwy. And feels like a lot of emotional betrayal and personal betrayal between the two of them. So I am going to give Homeland a couple more episodes just to see what the full setup is before I walk away from it. But I don't feel as good with Homeland as I did after that first season. I haven't felt that great about it. But yeah, so far with Homeland, we'll see. This season's off to a pretty rocky start for me, but hopefully once the plot gets going and there's a mole, I believe, that they're looking for as well, so we'll kind of see what happens with that. So maybe it'll get into some really interesting, intricate spy stuff, which I always dig. So really quick, I'm going to kick you guys out and bring in Bobby and Ian to discuss the very Heisenbergs and Ian Hinkman to discuss the very last episode of Breaking Bad for a few minutes, and then the three of us will be back to wrap things up. So stay right there. We'll be back.